The Trump administration is cracking down on crooked California, specifically school districts accused of shielding educators in sexual misconduct cases. Let's bring in John C. Manley, founder and partner at Manley, Stewart, and Finaldi, and a California attorney who has decades representing victims of sexual abuse in California schools. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on this extremely important topic that between 2019 and 2025, ProPublica found that 67 California educators kept their credentials after school districts determined that they had abused or even harassed students, and at least a dozen of those educators remain employed in the district. These schools apparently knew about it. They let it happen. Are these numbers just the tip of the iceberg here?
They are indeed. And we're so grateful to Secretary McMahon. I speak on behalf of our firm and our clients for publishing this Dear Colleague letter. To give you an idea of the scope of this problem, the Bush administration and the Obama administration estimate that 10% of children in our public schools will suffer some sort of sexual misconduct by teachers or other school officials. There's 57 million kids in schools in this country, which means 5.7 million kids a year this happens to. 40% of it is sexual talk, but the rest of it actually is physical sexual abuse all the way up to and including rape. This is a massive scandal. And California has a particular problem. I can focus specifically on the Los Angeles Unified School District. And this is actually cited in the letter, where they actually have a policy when they remove a teacher who's credibly accused for molesting a child, they don't fire him immediately. They put him on suspension and pay him typically.
Wow.
So what the letter says is if you do that, you're going to lose your federal funding. And this is a huge, huge step in the right direction to protect kids. So I can't tell you how happy I am when I read this letter on Friday, and kudos to Secretary McMahon.
What are you doing, John? It seems like you have a personal, passionate stake in this to protect the children. So tell us about your efforts to get transparency and fight for the children.
Well, for example, in no state is that, to my knowledge, is there a mandate when a teacher is removed from a classroom for credible allegations of sexually molesting a little boy or a little girl. There's no mandate that parents be told. You know, when our kids are in public schools, which, by the way, the law mandates they go to or a private school, but most kids in this country go to public schools. If a kid comes to school with lice, parents get a note. If a kid comes to school with COVID, parents get a note. But if your child's teacher is removed because they're a child molester, you don't get a note. That's insane. And this letter is attempting to address that. And the Dear Colleague letter that we're talking about is the way that the Department of Education administers or regulates schools. So the message is clear to school districts. Either you enforce the law, you protect kids, or we're coming after you. And so, you know, our job as parents is to protect kids. Our teachers' jobs, and most teachers, by the way, are great. They're there for the right reasons, but there's a number that aren't. I mean, literally every day, my office gets calls from parents whose children this happened to.
Right.
And our schools should be protecting predators, not placing them inside the classroom.
And paying them. Attorney John C. Manley, sir, thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you.